If you're one of the many people waffling between should I retire or should I not retire, in this video, I will share 5 key tips on how to retire gracefully from your job and make the transition as smooth as possible. Stay till the end because retiring from a job is one of the most monumental life changes, and you never know which tip will resonate the most for your unique situation. In case you're new, I am Cyn Meyer, the founder of Second Wind Movement and a life coach for older adults who are striving to turn their retirement years into their best years full of purpose and meaning. And of course, a big part of that is logistically moving through the retirement process, let alone the emotional and mental aspects. For now, let's walk through the 5 key tips on how to gracefully retire from your job. Number 1, plan in advance. May sound obvious, and even though nearly 9 out of 10 people understand the importance of retirement planning, a significant 42% of Americans still feel ill-equipped for retirement. Retirement planning is no longer a suggestion, but rather a necessity if you want to retire gracefully. After all, the last thing you want to do is retire and then find yourself in debt or unable to afford the lifestyle that you're accustomed to. So prepare financially. Financially speaking, planning ahead at least 1 year prior will allow you plenty of time to assess your budget, make any adjustments as you need, and then decide which investments are best for your needs, and begin to fully understand where your retirement income will come from. From filing taxes, setting up healthcare, and understanding Social Security income, make sure that your financial and legal affairs are handled before you take the plunge. To make a budget that works with your post-retirement income, take an honest look at how much money you have coming in and going out each month, and then make adjustments as needed for specifically your retirement lifestyle. In case you're curious, the typical American spends an average of $65,000 annually. And even after retirement, this figure doesn't shift by much. On the other hand, your income does change. And for some, this might mean cutting down on expenses or adjusting your lifestyle to fit within the parameters of your new budget. Either way, the goal here is to have a very clear picture of the inflows and the outflows and understanding how it's different, if at all, during retirement. But of course, if you're familiar with our content, you know it's not just about the numbers, it's about finding out what truly matters to you. So prepare mentally and emotionally. In our opinion, there are more important topics to cover inside of our 5 rings of retirement framework. Finance is only one ring with the sole purpose of supporting your more colorful life in the other 4 rings of retirement. With so much untapped potential for new experiences and reconnecting with your core values, now is the time to really take a step back and explore all the ways that retirement can shape your life. For example, here are 3 of our helpful resources to help you get there. 19 tips for living your best retirement life, a masterclass on how to turn your successful career into a successful retirement, Finding Clarity workbook. I will leave links to those in the description below this video. Regardless of where you start, finding clarity on the non-financial side of retirement is crucial. I help people navigate these challenges in private coaching sessions day in and day out, and in the Rewire My Retirement program every day. And it is one surefire way to steer clear of retirement anxiety, or being among the 40% of older adults who experience loneliness and the 3.8% of older adults experiencing mental health issues. All in all, take the time and energy to thoroughly plan through a multifaceted retirement in all areas of retirement planning. Once you're ready to make your retirement known, it's time to tell your boss. Our next tip. Number 2, gracefully tell your boss that you're retiring. Here's how to tell your boss that you're retiring in 3 key steps. Step number 1, decide when you'll tell them. No one said retirement planning was easy. Deciding when to retire is arguably the biggest hurdle. Studies show that 30% of pre-retirees have absolutely no plan for making this decision. While there's no one-size-fits-all answer to this question, in general, a good rule of thumb is to provide your employer with 3 to 6 months notice before you officially retire. This gives them enough time to find a suitable replacement for you and properly plan for your departure. Step number 2, schedule a meeting. Start with a face-to-face meeting with your manager or your boss. While you don't have to give any details before the meeting, you should let them know that it is important. And before you break the news to your manager, it's important to give some thought to how you will handle the conversation and what you plan to say. So rehearsing will only help you. With statistics suggesting that more than half of Americans have supportive bosses, there's a good chance your conversation will go well. And be prepared to answer questions. You don't need to provide all the answers, but being open and honest about why you're leaving is important. Finally, be sure to thank them for the opportunity that they provided you throughout your tenure at the company and express your appreciation for their guidance and their support. You, of course, don't want to burn any bridges on your way out. Step number 3, notify your employer in writing. After the face-to-face meeting, follow up with a formal letter or an email that outlines your retirement plan. Writing a retirement letter is more than just a simple formality. It's the first step in taking care of changes related to your salary, your benefits, and your insurance. So your letter should address the right people, include your retirement date, an expression of gratitude for all the opportunities that they have provided you, include contact details, and a brief explanation of why you're retiring. By writing down and communicating your retirement plan in writing, there's a better chance for all parties involved to be on the same page. With the big announcement out in the open, it's time to wrap up any work duties. Tip number 3 is to finish up assigned projects. The time before retirement can often be a mission to just check off all the boxes and complete your ongoing projects. So it may be time to put on your cape and become the champion of productivity before your departure. You don't want unfinished business lingering in the air after you've gone, if you can help it. It's worth taking the effort to finish what you started, tie up any loose ends, train your protege, delegate tasks if necessary, and then document all processes before you go. This looks different for everyone, with most employers being concerned about retiring employees and the skills they take with them. Doing a great job right up until the end is important for retiring with grace. And I also hear about this often in private coaching sessions, so it's worth mentioning here that it is important for you to find closure in your own way. There's an inevitable feeling that's related to your loss of identity that happens simply by people around learning how to move on without you while you're still employed. So there will be a new way of doing things, and often that means doing things differently than you would. It's important to find a sense of closure before leaving your workplace. And more often than not, it's about feeling appreciated and acknowledged for your hard work. Even if it's not receiving accolades from somebody else, it's okay for you to find this feeling of satisfaction on your own and to focus on your own job well done rather than how things will be when you're gone. This will help you let go of your old career identity and embrace your own new identity that you're going to grow into, which is a very exciting time, even if it doesn't feel that way. So once you're in more of a celebratory mood, you're ready for our next tip. Number 4, organize a retirement party. Getting together for one last hurrah provides an opportunity to reminisce about all the memories that you made throughout your career. If there's a retirement party or two thrown for you, embrace your role as guest of honor. Sometimes this involves giving a speech, so be prepared to end on a high note and thank everyone who's supported you. And just in case you're among the 75% of people with speech anxiety, try preparing with some of these speech tips. Keep it short. The average audience attention span is only 8 to 10 minutes. Tell a story. Information retention hops from 5 to 10% to 67% when there's a story. Be authentic and sincere and express gratitude. You can also expect to listen to others giving you public accolades, and it's also customary for coworkers, bosses, family, and friends to chime in and give a little speech too. So whether you plan on having a backyard barbecue or an office potluck or an all-out celebration, may your retirement party be positive and memorable. In case you want retirement party ideas, we have content on that too. I will leave a link to that in the description below this video. Either way, a retirement party will also help you gain closure and embrace the road ahead, including the many fears and the unknowns. So get out the bubbly and be willing and ready to celebrate you and all that you've accomplished. And lastly, number 5, build your support network. Your social network doesn't have to disappear after you leave the workforce. You probably created relationships and built a support system throughout your career. whether it's friends, family, or former colleagues, it can be very helpful to keep these connections alive. My advice is to be intentional and selective about it and try to connect with those who lift you up and encourage your growth. So these are people in your circle of influence versus your circle of concern. The key is to spend more time and energy with the people in your circle of influence. So those are people who encourage your growth and your evolution and your authenticity, and less time with people in your circle of concern. So these are people who are a bit draining, they're afraid of change, and they're kind of stuck in a fear-based thinking, and they tend to gossip. We all have people in both circles, so just be mindful of where you're investing your time and energy. And if you feel like you might need some extra help, our Rewire My Retirement program is here to guide you every step of the way. The bottom line is that you don't have to go through this alone. I will leave a link to more info on our fully guided program in the description below this video. Either way, may you take the time to reflect on your career, develop a retirement plan that's comprehensive, and let go with dignity and class. And keep these 5 tips in mind when you're ready to retire gracefully. A recap. Number 1, plan all areas in advance. Retirement planning can be a complicated process, so it's best to start as early as possible and cover the non-financial areas of retirement as well. Number 2, tell your boss. Decide when you'll tell them, schedule a face-to-face meeting, and then notify them in writing. Number 3, finish up your assigned projects. Leave with a good reputation, and more importantly, find closure on your end, even if the accolades and appreciation come from within. 4, organize a retirement party. This is a great way to say goodbye and let go while also celebrating your accomplishments. Number 5, build your support network. Make sure that you have a reliable social circle to lean on during and after the transition. The key is to remember that retiring gracefully isn't just about the finances. It's also about being emotionally and mentally prepared for all the changes that come with retirement. Thank you so much for being here and striving to be your best during retirement. We need more people like you to help shift our culture to be better. Please like, share, and subscribe, and comment on this video. Every engagement that you make with our videos helps us do our job better of creating helpful content for this very important audience of older adults. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.